suppose it's a perk of the job, but it isn't bad, is it, eh? I like it. It's great to be seen in, and well, I love driving anyway. Now look, I'm as safe a driver as the next guy. But what gets me are the rules. They're behind the times, and I don't think you have to follow all of them all of the time. I mean, come on, look at the speed limits. Half the 30-mile-an-hour zones should be 40. 70 on motorways. 70. Nobody does that. Unless they've spotted a camera or a police car. I admit, I do go above the speed limit, but not if I think there's any danger. I know what I'm doing, I'm a good driver. That's why I've gone 25 years with a clean licence. You see, the problem isn't drivers like me in decent cars. So we shouldn't have to be penalised. It's all these tinny little cars you see kids driving around in. They take chances. They're asking for it. This car, it's made for the job. All the technology. ABS. The extra bit of power to accelerate out of trouble. I'll be alright in this. Whatever happens.
I remember one autumn evening arriving on duty at approximately 6 o'clock in the evening and being turned out to a road traffic collision where we knew there'd been injuries. When we arrived at the incident, we found two vehicles involved. One was on its side and one was on its wheels in the middle of the road. The driver of the vehicle that was upright was obviously very badly inebriated, and there were two people trapped in the vehicle that was on its side. We managed to extricate the two people from inside the vehicle, and unfortunately there was a baby on the back seat of the car, and the baby had been killed. And we found out later on that the driver of the car was the father who had been to pick his wife up from hospital, and on the way home she'd had the baby, and on the way home they got hit by this driver who'd been drinking and jumped a red traffic light. And to be honest with you, nothing in this job, and I've been in the job for over 30 years now, has ever affected me as bad as that did.
I've been a traffic officer for 18 years out of 24 years police service. I've had the dubious distinction of having attended a large number of road traffic incidents, some of which have involved very, very catastrophic fatalities. In my role as family liaison officer, I've also had to deal with the aftermath in trying to help families get through such a terrible traumatic experience in what to them is an absolutely life-shattering event. One particular tragic one was where I attended an incident whereby it was a professional driver who'd been driving all day in his taxi, then decided to take his family to the seaside of the evening. They were returning back about 3 a.m. in the morning. He unfortunately fell asleep at the wheel, drove into the back of a large vehicle. His vehicle overturned, caught fire, and 3 generations lost somebody in that particular collision. The world is full of good drivers if you listen to everybody. One of the hardest things I have to try and convince people in my 18 years as a road traffic police officer is trying to tell somebody they're not as good a driver as they actually think they are.